So this little question at the bottom, it's actually from a check-in this week with a client. And it's something so simple, but we talked about self-belief a lot. You know, for a lot of people, like the smallest things, sitting in front of a big bowl of candy. You know, you're at a meeting, there's donuts, there's whatever. That can feel like the hardest thing ever because you're so used to, you know, reaching in, grabbing a handful, whatever it may be. But it brings up a good topic to kind of talk about necessarily perceived value. There is a certain level of perceived value that we have on everything. You think about when you go to buy a car, right? Maybe you're splurging and you're gonna spend the extra money on a Toyota, right? You're like, okay, why am I buying from this brand specifically? Well, you have this perceived value of, okay, it's better quality, maybe, you know, I get more mileage out of it. Maybe there's a safety factor, maybe there's a social factor of, like, you know, Toyotas are the best, or whatever it may be. It could be anything, but there's a perceived value there, and it ups the value of it, the price of it. And you can kind of talk yourself into buying something because you have this value of it. It's the same thing to a certain extent with, you know, candy or snacks or our goals, whatever it may be, right? And so it's a good conversation to have, right, with yourself, with your coach, whoever. When you look at it, we can change our perceived value of whatever it is, right? Now you can lower that value, don't get me wrong, like you could sit there and say, oh, like I can reframe this in my head and say, this bowl of candy is, you know, it's not even that good, right? Like, it's just Skittles. I remember on this trip to Italy having this certain chocolate and certain dessert, and it was the best thing I'd ever had in my life. And Skittles don't even, like, you know, they're nothing compared to that, right? There's one avenue you can take, right? Another avenue that you can take, the one I would recommend, is trying to look at the other side of the equation. Well, what are you comparing it to, right? You're having this value of this bowl of candy, and does the bowl of candy, or in that moment, have greater value than, let's say, your standards, your values, your identity, who you are, your goals? Like that side of the equation, if you can increase that, where you're like, this is the type of person that I am. Here's my characteristics. I'm patient, right? I'm driven, I'm disciplined, I'm a hard worker, I'm loving, I'm empathetic, I'm all of these things, right? And that side of the equation, if we can boost that, level you up, it makes it feel like that perceived value of the candy, the whatever, is now dropped, because it would be in its own way breaking your own self-belief, self-trust of like, this is who I am, this is who I want to be. And it takes time to work on those things. Like anything else, it's a skill, right, that we can build over time. But I wanted to bring this up because a lot of times, you know, we can tell ourselves and justify anything in our mind, right? It's just one piece of chocolate, it's just one cookie, it's just one that, I deserve it, I worked really hard, I just finished, you know, running, I just finished this hard workout, I just crushed this job interview, whatever it may be. You can tell yourself whatever you want, right? But kind of digging a little deeper, focusing more on like, okay, does this align with who I want to be, with my values, with my standards, right? If it aligns with that, you're crushing it. But many times we don't have standards already built out, and that leads to a very easy justification for, you know, going off plan and sneaking in other foods. So just food for thought.